Hey, Luca, thank you so much for joining me for this interview. It is such an honor to speak, with the real deal. Luca is an artist. He's creating an NFT collection called The Astronauts. And you describe yourself as a freehand artist. So I got really intrigued by that. What do you mean by freehand artist?
Tatiana, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Freehand artist. It is a artist that I guess likes to draw, with basic tools, but has the skills to do, certain things just by hand instead of using like different After Effects and stuff. So I'm more of a freehand artist. I don't really use like the whole After Effects or Photoshop programs. It's just me and pretty much my studio pen, and that's it. You know what I mean? So.
That's awesome.
Well, that's what I think a freehand artist is. You know what I mean? Like someone that emotionally expresses themselves freely just for a piece of art, but just through an organic way by not using After Effects. Like that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, beautiful. Well, tell us about what you do, what the project is. So Luca and I met at the Comic-Con, and I was walking through hundreds of different stalls, and this one just like stopped me in my tracks, and I had to talk to you. And wow, we're here now. So tell us about your project.
It is pretty crazy, yeah. So the project is called Cosmonauts, and yeah, it's a 5K collection. It's pretty much based around. Look, it is an art based project because I am a artist as well. We will be integrating hopefully into working with an animation company to get it into an animation series, which is the end goal, of course. But yeah, currently it's been this is our 13th week at the moment. And through our 5K collection, we're at, I think, 4140. So, 4,140 pieces in a bear market, which is pretty impressive. It's pretty crazy. So,
yeah. So I'm just going to pause you for 1 second because we didn't actually even mention that this is an NFT collection. And
already, yeah.
So this is an NFT collection already. And
correct.
I'm not sure how familiar my audience is with what NFTs are. And honestly, myself, I am learning about this space so much. And this is what intrigued me so much. Now, just for context, so people understand what these numbers mean, can you kind of dive a little bit more into because you just said a few numbers. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, so it's pretty much the number of the collection. So how many pieces in the collection? So for my NFT collection, there's 5,000 pieces. They're all different. They're all drawn freehand by myself.
5,000. It's not generated. It's not computer generated.
Maybe you can see that. That's like a bit of the artwork right there. Just that character. That's kind of what the art looks like. I pretty much freehand drew every single trait. It took me about 3 months. I think in total there's about 180 head trades. There's heaps of body trades, heaps of I can't remember the exact numbers. There's a lot, but it took about 3 months, and the collection is a 5K collection. So that means 5,000 generated art pieces, all hand drawn by myself. And currently, 13 weeks in, we're at the number of 4140. So I know we've got about nearly 800 or so to go until the project's fully minted out. But in the process, we've been doing secondary markets been moving, the mints have been moving, which they call, sales. It's a mint. It's been recently it's been a little bit slow because of, the whole bear market. As you can probably tell, there's a bit of depression happening at the moment. Yeah, that stuff all affects the market and cryptocurrency as well. And, NFTs are based around cryptocurrency, you know what I mean? So, it has been a little bit of a, down point, but at the end of the day, whatever goes down comes up, whatever was up goes down kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, but I think the whole world's affected by it, not just the cryptocurrency market or NFTs, you know what I mean? So,
totally.
But I think now's a good time to build a good NFT project and good community, I think,
Yeah, I mean, in the down dip you build, right, so that you can ride the wave up.
Correct, yeah, 100%. 100%. I think that's the main thing is to really build a strong foundation and strong community in the downturn, because that will make you build a very good foundation for when the upturn is about to come. You will have a good fan base behind you, good community that will actually support you and move the project in the direction that you want it to go. So I think it's very important. Having a down market, you don't get to make heaps of money and all that stuff, but it's more so like you actually get appreciation for what you do. You know what I mean? People actually appreciate what you do, and you actually earn a lot of people's respect. So
Yes.
it's actually a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. So it looks like you've been doing art for a long time, because a person doesn't just walk into this level of skill, and it's clear that you have a world. It's not just the art, it's the world, and the art is
Correct.
describing what you're seeing. So art came first, I imagine, and then came the NFTs.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
what
so
was that journey like?
look, I was a street artist, so like I was a street artist in Sydney. I still do like to do like a bit of graffiti and stuff, like paints.
I love that.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, I used to love like that. I used to paint trains and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, that was like all the journey for me to like get addicted to the art side of things and get to explore it. So even with colors, like I always was good with like certain color sets when I used to go spray walls and stuff and all that other stuff, doing pieces and canals. So yeah, that was like a good little bit of practice, and I'm self-taught as well. I never went to no art school and stuff, so I'm just like building everything out. But yeah, I currently got my own universe that I've created over the last, I think, 3 years. I've been working on Luca the Astronaut, just like growing my skills, getting better. And this was way before NFTs. Like I was doing this before NFTs. But NFTs just came along to give me a bit more of a platform to build a community a lot faster and get more recognition quicker, you know what I mean, to get eyes on me as an artist. But I've been working on this world for about 3 years now. It's been a long road. It's been it's you know what it is. Yeah, it's also like, as long as you're staying consistent doing art, like I've always like learned every year I go, I just get better and better because I just stay consistent the whole time. So I think the consistency is what's made me addicted to, being an artist. But yeah, like I've been doing art ever since I was like born, maybe like a little kid, primary school, preschool, really. Always did like coloring, all that stuff. Yeah, even like playing with toys. Love playing with toys, like always used to play with toys. I think I stopped playing toys when I was like 13 years old, which is pretty old. And I remember I was like,
I don't know, I still play with toys.
Oh man, yeah, but like like it's good, but you know what I mean. Like you keep that like that kidly, like that kid vibe in you, like it will just flourish your imagination. So like, always try to have that element to me. You know what I mean, especially with creating stuff. But yeah, it's been a long road, and I love it. I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And especially once you start doing it consistently, you start seeing, things happen, and then you want to do more of it. Yeah. And it's like you're putting visual images around these ethereal things that, I mean, that's my perception. And that's how I see art. It's like visual representations of the energy and the concepts that are there, but now we can deliver it in a way that people can see and relate to.
100%. I think energy is definitely a big thing. Like for me, energy is definitely a big thing. Like just absorbing vibes from people and seeing people and like just having that experience like comes through into my art as well. You know what I mean? So it's like always good for me. Like I'm always in the studio working, but it's always good for me to like go out and just go like have a bit of an experience that comes back into the studio, and then that just sort of evolves into like the art. You know what I mean? So yeah, I always implement that stuff. That's definitely important to me as well with my creativity.
Yeah. So NFTs, why NFTs? How, like, NFTs are pretty new. So NFT is a non-fungible token, which the way that I describe it is a way to say like Luca did that image, and it's a way to verify that on the internet. So sure, somebody else can copy it, but there is that number. It's like a long number of strings and symbols that you can look up and verify that yes, Luca did that. So
correct.
And it's pretty new, and it's still kind of not the mainstream. How did you get into it, and like what was your journey like into actually starting?
Well, I ended up getting out of like a serious relationship, and then after that I got back into art, and then I saw like these NFTs selling for like $300,000, and I was looking at the artwork and I was like, what the hell, who's spending this much money on this? Like, these are ridiculous. And as an artist, I was kind of like, well, man, I should get into this. Like, these wild. Because, like, I instantly you're thinking, like, I'm better than that person. That person's making that much. Think how much I can make. Like, that's any human instinct would, like, that's how any human would think. So I literally jumped into NFTs, and I was just like, oh, I started, like, doing characters again. I started selling them. And I wasn't selling, like, expensive. Like, I was starting, like, at a pretty cheap price, and I just worked my way up. But NFTs, I've been into them for about 17 months now, or 16 months, 16 or 17 months. And yeah, I've seen a lot happen in like the whole NFT space, like, you know, with the road pools and, you know, good projects that actually took off. And, you know, like, yeah, it actually does happen. Like, there's projects out there that actually do become successful and they get good branding with like proper Web2 brands, like, you know, big partnership deals, like, you know, with Nike and Adidas and all these other things. So like, there's definitely like still potential in doing something awesome in NFTs. I think at the moment it's more about originality. Like, there's still a lot of people that buy into the hype, and, you know, a lot of it is like, I hate putting like shade on this, like on the Web3 space, but it definitely needs to be regulated in a sense. Like, I think like the future of it would have to be regulation to make sure that when people drop projects or artists drop projects, they have the right intention to do something right to money, because you generate a fair bit of money, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, most artists will probably just use that to just, you know, go have holidays and go buy, you know, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And then all that money that people have invested in, it kind of turned them off the space, because you're like, well, what's this person doing now? You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's happened a lot, you know what I mean, which is the sad part. But there's still the good, like, needle in the haystack that you can actually still get involved in and actually be a part of something that could be the next big thing. There's always that, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like it's all about originality. Like, but the NFT space has been like, it's had its ups and downs. But, you know, I think now, like with the down market, there's a lot of people that were in it for the wrong intentions, you know, that wanted to scam and make money, because it's pretty, like, I'm not going to lie, it is easy to, you know, if you don't understand NFTs or cryptocurrency, like, it's easy to get scammed when you're dealing with Web3s. It really is, because you look at Instagram and you see like, oh, this person made $1 million off this NFT and this and that. And people from Instagram will be like, yo, I'm going to get into NFTs. And then instantly they'll spend like, maybe, I don't know, 5-10 grand or something. And they'll be like, yeah, I'm a millionaire. Like, it doesn't really work like that. You need to do your own research. Like, you have to research. It's important to research, because there is a lot of scammers out there that manipulate the market. And it's the same as in real life. There's scammers that are real estate agents. There's scammers that are, they're everywhere. You just need to be, because it's new technology and it's like a new thing, you just really need to be switched on. So yeah, people need to be educated on that more. And that's why I think like, for like mass adoption coming into NFTs, there definitely has to be a big player in the game, like a big Web2 company, that creates like a Web2 marketplace that people get used to using, not cryptocurrency, but, you know, the US dollar and the Australian dollar to buy NFTs. And then from there, they can bridge that into Ethereum or Solana or Bitcoin, etc. You know what I mean? So then you can use, you know, the US and AUD currency or European currency, and then it bridges into cryptocurrency, and one wallet does all of them. That's
really interesting. Yeah, because right now the only way you can get into that space is by connecting a wallet or using cryptocurrency, which just even saying those words gives me a bit of apprehension, because it feels like complicated, which cuts out actually a huge portion of the market who could be collecting and buying, but don't know how to connect wallets or have any cryptocurrency. That's really interesting insight. I haven't heard this before. Yeah.
Well, that's just from like me being in space, and you know, I'm working for a pretty big like Web2 company at the moment. I can't mention who they are, but that'll be in February. Mid-December, I'll be able to make that public, which will be crazy. So that's pretty big. But yeah, they're doing pretty much exactly what I just said, which I think is cool, and they're huge. So
that is cool.
If they can mass adopt people and get used to people using, you know, US currency. It's like, in US currency is regulated by the government. Like, you know, at the end of the day, like, I strongly do believe that majority of these cryptocurrency, like the big currencies, 100% like they're regulated. It's just that people think they aren't regulated. I really do think they do. Like, I think this day and age, the government wouldn't just let people make trillions of dollars off something they don't have control over. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
it's kind of
yes,
like,
sure.
Yeah, like, you know how it is. Like, it could just be speculation, but like, I strongly do believe it. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think like even people being on Twitter Spaces and saying we're in a decentralized world, this is Web3. It's like, well, if you're scamming people, you're still on a social media platform that has evidence against you. So it's like, you know, all these scammers and this and that, they will get all needled out, and it's bad for the space at the moment, but that's why we do need the regulation with the, you know, US currency, and then going into cryptocurrency to get people used to it, and making people understand and making people learn how to trade and making people learn how to do their own research. But then again, these big marketplaces that are from Web2, they need to regulate the projects that go on their marketplace. So they aren't just, letting random projects appear. They should be doing it, like filtering through and getting real artists to drop real projects. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, there's a lot of noise for sure. I've had a look. So total transparency. I'm an artist looking to get into the NFT space, and I've done a few artworks. So what's standing in the way is thinking, this is my thinking of like, it's not enough to just pop a few drawings onto OpenSea or something else and just make sales, right? Sales, even in this amazing new space, sales don't just happen because you happen to list something. And this is building on what you're saying, that there is there needs to be some kind of a quality control, let's say, of the project. 100%. Now, what makes things sell? So let's say you were giving me advice concretely. I have a collection of characters, let's just say, that I want to get into the NFT space. What, in your experience, makes it work for an artist?
I think number one is having like a quality product. Like number one, good art. Like at the end of the day, like the art is just a piece of artwork that sits on top of a token. Like when you drop a collection, it's on the blockchain, but it acts as a token because someone buys it with money and then they can resell it with money. So it acts as a token. You buy, you trade it. NFTs are about trading. They're about token. It's all tokenomics. So like the piece of artwork is just really a piece of art that comes with a token. You know what I mean? You buy a coin, you're buying like right now, if you drop on OpenSea, it's not just a piece of art. Your artwork has turned into a token that someone can buy, trade, you know what I mean, make money off. Like that's the same thing as buying a Bitcoin and you sell the Bitcoin when it goes up in value. It's the same thing. It's a token, you know what I mean? So I think for you, it is a hustle bar. Like I think now in this actual market, it's just a matter of like growing your socials, doing what you're doing right now with, content, allowing people in the space to kind of trust you and get familiar with who you are. Because really, like before I dropped Cosmonauts, I didn't do no paid marketing, no paid influencers, none of that. It was pretty much based on my own platform. And I worked a good 15 months, 14 months of just being in the space, selling one-of-ones, building a reputation for myself, gaining trust, respect. Then I dropped the collection. And if I dropped my collection earlier, it probably would have went crazier, but it is what it is. But yeah, I just think like showing up every day and proving your worth. And then once you start to build that bit of community, then you can drop, some artworks when people are actually interested in who you are. I think it's at the moment, people want to get that real genuine connection because I bought one-of-ones and I never see the artist anymore. Like they just disappeared. So like, I think you really need to prove your worth if it's a one-of-one collection, you need to prove your worth to collectors because, they're spending more money than they would in buying a generated art project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're doing a generated art project, there's a different way to go about it. You know what I mean? Like I think video content, behind the scenes content, you putting yourself out there content, like just, like socializing with your community, making them, engage with you. I think that's another thing, like good form of marketing. Any sort of video content is good content, but just networking really. You just have to network and just, deliver a good product. And if you deliver a good product, like, and people resonate with the artwork, resonate with, what your vision is for the project, people will get involved in it. You know what I mean? But you really, that's definitely a key thing. Networking is a key thing for sure.
So I'm hearing build a platform, build a community, show and show up consistently as an artist. Don't just disappear. So I kind of want to go a little bit deeper into each of these. So when you're talking about platform, those 15 months that you spent, that's before you did the collection. Is that before like minting, would you say? Or what does that mean? Yeah. Okay.
So I was like on Twitter, because if you want to get into NFTs, you really need to be active more on Twitter. Because Twitter, they have like these like live Twitter spaces where they're big chat rooms and people go in there and they talk about your project and stuff. And I guess like I was doing that non-stop, but I was also selling one-of-one artwork. So I think I worked my way up, selling my one-of-ones, getting people enjoying and liking the style of artwork that I have. And then you pretty much just got to keep being friends with them, keep staying consistent, keep showing up, build a relationship with them. And then, you drop a project, them original people will get behind that project because they've been supporting you this whole time. And then you get, because it's a bigger number, like it's a larger volume of art, you're reaching a bigger audience, which will then people be like, oh, I've never seen this person. And you grow a bigger community. So like that's kind of how I did. That's how I did it. I did the one-of-ones first. And then from there I worked my way up to doing a bigger collection. But yeah, like it's like networking, Twitter spaces, speaking to people every day. It's a part of the hustle, really. Like art's one thing, but marketing's another thing.
Yes. And
yeah,
it's like that with regular art as well. Like it's actually the same, like what you said, one-of-ones, you start by doing commissions or whatever it is, like just you put yourself out there, you get known. It's kind of the same, like, and then you start to do more prints and licensing and all that stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. And with building the community, so we've got the platform, and when you're building a community, what sort of things, so you've mentioned doing like behind the scenes and process, right? Like do you stream? How do you do that?
Yeah, so like tonight we're going to be doing a stream. We got I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did a live techno scene when I was in the studio. I was drawing just pretty much right here. And my mate Cahill, he was playing like a live techno set pretty much where I'm sitting right now. Good. And we're doing that on Twitch tonight as well. So we're going to be on in like a few hours doing that live on Twitch.
Oh, sweet! I'm going to watch. What's your Twitch handle?
It's Luca the Astronaut. I'll send you the link.
Sweet. I'll include the links below the video so that people can check you out. That's so cool.
I do a lot of I've been doing a lot of Twitch. Like there's not a lot of artists that are on Twitch. So like I do a lot of like live drawing on Twitch. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A lot of the people, like that's what I mean. Like you start implementing things into the community. Like what I want to do is like the live techno sets. Like it's an art and like music submersive experience.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I want to give out. And then like, people watching me and the behind the scenes of me actually creating the art, that brings them like that satisfaction of I've actually invested into someone that actually has skill set. That's another thing, you know what I mean? So like, and it's also good for people to see the behind the scenes of, how things are created and how long it takes, like, because it takes time. Like for me, like my art pieces, they take ages, you know what I mean? So, yeah, all that stuff's all good stuff. It's all good stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so good. I literally got goosebumps when you were talking about like the music and the lights and the drawing and the art. That it's like multi-sensory experience. Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's wild. Like it just sort of keeps it fresh. It keeps things like at the end of the day, communities can get very boring real quick because it's like the same thing every day. You're rocking up, it's the same talk every day. But if you start implementing things into your community and start doing things that are like sort of different, it sort of keeps everyone just still excited. That's another hard challenge as well. Like having a community is a challenge. Like, you're managing hundreds of people. I think I've got like 630 wallets. So yeah, there's a fair few people there's about 630 people in my Discord. But yeah, and like Twitter goes crazy. Like it is hard to manage sometimes. But it is what it is. People don't get along. Like it's just a headache. Sometimes it's just a headache. And I deal with it all. If someone doesn't get along with someone else, I'm like, man, like, what am I meant to do? You know what I mean? Like, I can do what I can do, but like it gets like that. You know what I mean, Tatiana? Like it's a lot
I get it. Yes.
Yeah, dealing with people is one thing, and then you're also trying to market yourself, and you're also doing the art, and then you're also trying to build, network and connections. Like it's a lot. There's a lot to do. And then, you also need to deliver on like time with promises that you've said. So like there's a lot of pressure with like having an NFT project. It's the same as running a business. I see it as the same thing as running a business. It's exactly the same process. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're juggling it really well, It feels like to me from here. Huh?
Oh yeah. I honestly try my best. Like it's like, and it's also good to like have breaks as well. Like because you're always on socials and like I do about 16, 17 hours a day, depending. Sometimes even 18 hours. It just depends, like drawing nonstop, Twitter space. It's just wild. Like, so yeah, like you always get like that feeling of like burnouts coming on because you're always like, you're trying to hit like both time zones. The bad thing about us in Australia is that the American time zones were active when we're asleep. That's the worst part. When we're asleep, that's when like Twitter's most active. So like the Australian community sort of gets like the end of the stick, but there's actually a lot of Aussies in the NFT space at the moment, which is pretty cool.
Cool. That is cool. Yeah, I'd love to keep, connecting and keep talking. And I'm actually really interested about your street art as well for a different conversation. Yeah. So that's the community aspect is maintaining the space and keeping the conversation, keeping it fresh and exciting.
Correct.
And then when you are ready to publish the collection, I imagine you leverage the community. So how does that work when you're ready to drop?
Well, so I had like a small community before I dropped the project, but then once you drop the project, I didn't do like a big hype. Like I did like they call it a slow mint. So you just activate your mint on your website. People can mint your NFTs on your website through your own smart contract. And then, like all I did, it just sort of created like a domino effect because the artwork that I had was like a lot different to what's already out there in the NFT space. So like the artwork was like my marketing for me. And then people that seen it just really resonated with it and they started collecting it. And then the people that started collecting the art, they started building their own communities, you know what I mean? And then now it's a real tight like NFT community that really does love the art, loves the storyline, loves the vision of where the project's going. So it kind of formed itself naturally. You can't really I think like from my experience, like I couldn't have marketed the way I wanted it to go. I couldn't market it the way I wanted it to turn out. You know what I mean? Like it just had to turn out that way. Like, I don't know, like the way it's turned out, it's just turned out. Like I just let the universe do its thing and I just keep creating, showing up and, things happen on the go, and that's pretty much how I operate. Like, I didn't really plan it. I'm just like, I know where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And what happens on the way, things are going to alter, things are going to change, and you just need to be good at like adapting to when things pop up. And I'm just a good like on the go thinker. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. It's like you respond to what happens. Like you have this guiding light.
Correct.
And then you respond and flow with it and you let it take the shape that it does. Like I find the same in my business. And, when I do a launch, I can have a marketing plan, but then things happen in the launch. People say things, there's insights, and I have to flow with that. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, thinking on the go, it's important. Thinking on the go is so important, like especially like NFT space, things are always happening. Like the space moves. It literally feels like 1 week, but it's like I spent a whole month. I was like, man, like it's honestly crazy. Like 1 week feels like a month. That's why sometimes I feel old. I'm just like, it takes it out of me. Yeah, like dealing with socials and all that other stuff takes it out. And like a lot of the, social media aspect of it with the community and stuff, like it's a lot of hard work. It's like you got to keep up.
Yeah, it's like you're holding the space. This is how I describe it. Like I'm holding the space for thousands of people. Yeah. And even
100%.
For sure. I wanted to ask about your vision. Like, what's your vision? What's your, what are your plans going forward?
My visions are definitely going to be get into an animation series for sure. But, be realistic. Like, that's the goal. To have an animation series is definitely the goal. Next year, I'm going to be doing more Comic-Cons. I'm going to be going to LA for Comic-Con. Pretty much any Comic-Con like San Diego, any Comic-Con I can do over in America, I'll do. Same as like I'll do the Sydney, I'll do the Melbourne, Brisbane one, I'll do all that. Like I'll be way more like prepared, organized for that. That's like for now, what I want to do is start turning like the NFT project that I built into more of like a brand. You know what I mean? Like I want to brand it where I can sell merch, get into toys, sell posts, all this other stuff. Sort of bridge out of NFTs, but also be NFTs, but a brand as well. You know what I mean? So people that come in, this is the key thing. So like people that get involved in the brand might not be involved into NFTs, but because you're into NFTs and you're a brand, the people that are buying into the brand, you can then onboard them into the NFT project, which I think is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's a crossover, cross-pollination.
Yeah. And that's how you onboard. That's how you literally onboard people into the NFT space. And I think that's important. Like if you deliver an experience for people like holders that are buying into your brand, buying your merch, but they don't know anything about NFTs, that's when you can get them into your Discord. You can, educate people how to, buy NFTs, what to buy. I think that's an important part. I think most projects need to start turning it more into like a brand and then onboarding people in real life by going to Comic-Cons. Like you think if at Comic-Con, if we had, like all of them were all NFT projects there, the amount of onboarding we would have done would have been crazy. I was really the only person. I was
going to say, you're the only one that I saw that, you know what? I went to Smash before that in July 2022, and there was not a single mention of NFTs anywhere, not in any presentation. I was like, whoa, this is like interesting. I was expecting a lot more.
Yeah, I was the only one, which I think was crazy. So like if these other artists go, look, like, you know, if we, you know, they've already got like a kind of maybe like a social media establishment happening already, like on Instagram and that, selling some artworks. If they did get into NFTs and every single other person at Comic-Con was into NFTs, that would have been good to onboard. We probably would have onboarded like a fair few people into the space for people that we actually met there and then, you know what I mean? And they probably would have bought an NFT, we could have educated them, boom, we onboarded people. So I think like, you know, actual NFT projects need to start doing that, turning more into a brand. And then once they get people tapped into their brand, then they start onboarding them into the NFT projects, which then creates mass adoption. And that's what we all need. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like there definitely needs to be more like the NFT space. There needs to be more people, but more quality. You know what I mean? I think it's more quality control. That's what we need at the moment. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going. I'm going animation series. But in the meantime, just work hard at like in real life events. And then I really want to work hard on this like immersive, like, you know, psychedelic experience with me drawing, DJ here. We're pretty much got like the studio vibes going. I definitely want to be pushing that because I think that's a cool idea. And it's also good for content. Yeah, it's good for content as well. Like it's you never really get to see like a DJ and an artist going back to back, like in the studio. It's wild. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So.
Are you going to have multiple cameras? Like, how are you going to manage that?
Yeah, we do. So like 2 weeks ago when I did it with Cahill, he's here now eating McDonald's on the lounge, but he's playing at about 6 o'clock our time, which is like, yeah, a few more hours. But yeah, like I think we had 2 cameras. We had the webcam set up for like Twitch that like gets both of us. And then we also had like one of my good friends that he was taking photos and videos of the night, but we learned a lot from that night, just like the way we want to set things up and stuff. Also like we're lagging a little bit, like the live stream was lagging because of my Mac, but now last weekend I bought a full PC. So now we're streaming at 1080, which is clear, and the PC runs like super quick. So like tonight when we do it, I think it's gonna be a lot quicker. There'll be no lag. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome vibe tonight, I think.
Cool. I'll be tuning in. Yay.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much where I'm going with the future.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all of that, and generously sharing, you know, your vision, what you've learned, what you learned so far, what you see is missing. This is like really good. I'm sure when I'm editing this, and I'm going to take like a gazillion notes because there's so much goodness in the conversation. Any final like things that you want to share with the people watching?
Well, with me, at the moment, I just got like some big news. Like last week, I think it was last week. I was early last week. I ended up having like an interview with, you know, Jacob from Hypebeast, which was pretty cool. Hypebeast is like a massive company. Yeah, got on their like artist list. That was like really cool for like collaborations. That's dope. That was pretty cool. I wasn't really expecting that. Hypebeast is huge, so to be on that list is cool. Really, like, yeah, if anyone wants to hit up my socials and wants to ask questions based on like, you know, NFTs or just the information on the art and stuff, like just hit me up and
where can we find you?
Instagram DM. Yeah, like you can find me on Discord, Twitter. I am more active on Twitter. Like I'm super active on Twitter, not so much Insta, because I always get like the bots and, you know, all this other stuff. Because when you post on Instagram into NFTs, they just like all these scammers just start rushing your page. So I don't really use Instagram too much. But yeah, if people do need me, like Twitter's definitely where you can find me. Just tweet me and I'll just get back to you.
Okay. I'll pop your Twitter and Twitch below the video. Yeah. So I'll put your Twitter first, then Twitch, and then everything else.
Awesome. Yeah. The Twitch to me is important. I want to like, I'm an affiliate now on Twitch. So like now I can start getting paid for doing things. And like, yeah, I'm climbing up to 100 followers, which it may be about 3 weeks on Twitch. So
sweet. That's amazing.
Yeah. Just slowly growing. Like I think a lot of people like into like the whole like, oh yeah, you gotta do art, put it on TikTok. Like you don't. Like I look at like why is, you know, it's the same as Discord. Everyone said Discord's for gaming, but now it's for NFT communities. Like it's the same thing as Twitch. Like
totally.
People said Twitch is just for gaming, but it could be for live drawing as well. So like yeah, I'm kind of pushing that. Like I want to get into that pretty early and see if we can start doing something with Twitch for the live drawing. But I just need to keep creating that good immersive experience and getting the way I do my videos a lot better and hook up the speakers and all that stuff. It's a bit of a process, but I've only just started getting the right technology for it. But yeah, follow me on Twitch. Twitch is important. I really want to just build my Twitch up because Twitch is, I want to see people watch me, live, draw live more, so they can see the behind the scenes and like the real cool stuff. So
yeah, it's so good that you're offering this to the people, a look inside your studio, your world, your process. It's incredible. And I know it's not easy, I can say that from experience. So when you talk about the pain, I'm like, yeah, I know what he means. But you're doing it and I'm doing it and we're here sharing, and let's keep going. Let's keep carrying
100%.
the project,
100%.
the space, the good quality, the good vibes. Yeah, there's so much more I want to ask you. So we'll have to meet again at some point.
We'll have to do a part two. We'll have to do a part two for sure. We'll definitely do a part two. We'll lock it in.
Yay! That's awesome.
Because I'd like to know more about your stuff and like if I could just as like a kind of like a beginner in the space, if I could give like advice, like that'd be cool as well. Like, and hearing about what you're doing as well and what your vision is would be pretty cool as well. So yeah, if you ever need advice as well, just like hit me up or you want to have a chat, like just let me know and I can. Just from my experiences, like I'm not a professional, but from my experiences from being consistent and just witnessing a lot of things around me, I think it's not so more experience. It's more so like what I've seen that I can actually maybe like, oh, that didn't work because this person did it and that's etc. what happened. You know what I mean? So like just from people's failures and people's wins, that's what I've learned from in this NFT space. So yeah, if you ever need to reach out, like feel free to reach out as well. 100%.
I sure will. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Like, that's incredible. I feel like I have a place to start now, a lot more clarity. Yeah. And I'll definitely be in touch. Thank you. You're welcome, so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on. It's been good. It's been a good chat. And next time we'll make it more about you. You know what I mean?
All
I hate
good.
talking about me. But no, I really do appreciate it. And I hope you have a good day as well.